Welcome to Topper Talk, your number one Western Kentucky athletics podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Moffitt, and I'm joined by co-host Tyler Bailey. Hilltopper Nation, whether it's happening on the hill or on the road, grab those red towels, stand up and cheer, because it's up next on Topper Talk. Welcome back, and thank you for downloading and listening to another episode of the Topper Talk podcast. As always, follow us on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just find us at Topper Talk, also on Facebook. Be sure to share the episodes, tell a friend, help us get the word out of what we're doing and creating over here. As always, I've got Tyler with me. Tyler, you ready to jump into a big episode?
Yeah, long-winded episode, man. But yeah, let's get into it.
Before we do that, let's talk about our sponsor, and that is the Fireman Moving Company. They are the official moving company of WKU Athletics. Not only can they be trusted to move all the coaches in and out of Western, but they can move you anywhere nationwide. The Fireman Moving Company is owned and operated by firemen and is founded by WKU alumni. If you're looking to move sometime soon, give them a call at 270-791-1755. Get yourself a free quote, and I promise you, like I always say, I would have said it before they were a sponsor of the podcast. We used them when we moved to this current house that we're in. Man, they just make your life so much easier moving. They're professionals. They're fast and efficient, and they're worth every penny. Before we jump into the main segment of the episode, let's get to our Red Towel wrap-up, which is catching us up on all the WKU athletics and news that we've missed since we last recorded. So, Tyler, hit us with that Red Towel wrap-up.
All right, y'all get the popcorn ready because it's going to be a long one. On 2-7, women's basketball beat Louisiana Tech 64-56.
Yeah, man, that's a good one because they had kind of been going through a tough spell. They have lost some games, and kind of just hadn't been winning, hadn't been playing like they needed to. They were missing a couple players in this game and still pulled out a good victory. Always good to beat Louisiana Tech, so love to hear it.
On 2-9, track and field competed in the Darius Dixon Memorial Invitational at Liberty University. Julian Cleaner placed fourth in the 400-meter. Kinsley Bassett lowered her 5,000-meter personal record time by over a minute and is third in Conference USA. Wade Balcom finished fourth in the 800-meter at 1 minute 56 seconds. Grace Turner, Sophia Roskowski, Natalie Papes finished top 5 in pole vault. Emily Lesniak finished second in the high jump at 1.73 meters. And friend of the podcast, Kaysen Barton, finished 11th in the shot put with a throw of 15.61 meters. Full results can be found on WKUsports.com.
Yeah, the indoor track and field season is kind of coming down to an end here. I think this is one of their last meets before the conference championship in a couple weeks from now. So good to see some people placing some high finishes there. A lot of top 5s, top 10s, people putting PRs up. And of course, our friend Kaysen Barton competing in the shot put. I think it was his first event of the season, and didn't finish as high as he would have liked, I'm sure, but we'll continue to get better and, hopefully leading to this conference tournament before we get to outdoor season.
On the same day, softball lost to Missouri State 1-0 and lost to Iowa 8-0. The following day, softball beat Army 7-1 and beat NC State 7-2.
Yeah, disappointing start. Softball was in a tournament down in Clearwater, Florida. Lost a couple tough games there. But then bounced back and had a big win against Army and a big win against NC State. Always good to beat some good teams. Unfortunately, lost a couple games there, but softball is trending the right direction.
Tennis lost to Austin Peay 6-1 and then beat USI 6-1. Women's basketball beat Jack State 54-45. Low scoring affair, but a win's a win.
Yeah, tops win, you win, right? Just more wins there. Tennis bounced back and had a good win over Southern Indiana. Women's basketball, again, got back on the winning track and just, where they need to be, as we get down to the last few weeks of the season. Definitely good to see them trending the right direction now after the last couple of weeks have been rough.
Softball tied Kansas 2-2.
Yeah, that was a weird one because the game was ended early due to time restrictions. Apparently there was basically a curfew. They had to stop playing. So Still it wasn't a loss. That's always good. But anytime you play a bigger school, P5 school, you want to get that victory. But we didn't have a chance to finish that one out. But still, softball after those opening losses really stepped back up and finished strong in that tournament.
Golf finished second in the Bentwater Intercollegiate hosted by Rice. Luke Fuller finished fourth out of 81. Nick Hoffman and Stephen Warren finished tied for 17th.
Yeah, the first invitational, the first event of the season for golf for the men, and obviously they had a really good showing. Finishing second as a team, Luke Fuller in fourth. The other two guys in the top 25, and then I think the other two scores as well were also in the top 50. So just a really good showing by the tops. Hopefully, kicking off what is going to be a good season under first-year coach Austin King.
Ty Rogers was named to the KHSAA Hall of Fame class of 2024, and Nick Uhlenhop was named executive director of the Red Towel Trust. He was a former chief of staff for WKU football, which is awesome news.
Yeah, Ty Rogers, obviously, everybody knows he had a stellar high school career at Lyon County. Came on to Western and was just a legend here. Obviously hit the big shot in the NCAA tournament that helped us advance. Everybody kind of remembers that shot and where they were. So awesome to see his prep career get, I guess, recognized and inserted into the Kentucky High School Athletics Hall of Fame. Then Nick Uhlenhop being hired as the first executive director of the Red Towel Trust. He's been with the WKU football team now since the Mike Sanford era, 6 years plus now. And as he transitions over to the Red Towel Trust, he's really just going to help develop a lot of relationships, help raise funds for the athletes, and help just get out in the community and just get our name out there, enhance our community service opportunities, and really just going to be a big win-win for not only the Red Towel Trust, the athletes, but our sports, our athletes, our coaches. So I really love to hear that one.
Greg Collins got his 100th victory in their win over La Tech. Mason Burns was named number 25 on D1 Baseball Top 50 list for of relief pitchers. Jack Doyle was named to the Kentucky Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. Austin Reed and Malachi Corley was invited to the NFL Draft Combine.
Yeah, just again, this Red Towel wrap up just full of awesome news, man. Greg Collins, 100 victories as the Hilltopper head coach. That's awesome. One of our relievers being named the 25th best relief pitcher in college baseball. I mean, that's pretty good. Top 25 in anything is good, but there's a lot of relief pitchers across the nation, and to be top 25 on top 50 list is awesome. Jack Doyle, Jack Doyle. Our boy Willie, as he like to call him, Jack Doyle, getting recognized and is in the Kentucky Pro Football Hall of Fame class. And then Austin Reed and Malachi Corley, they both had good postseason bowls, the Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl. They both got invited to the NFL Draft Combine, where I'm sure they're going to continue to show out and represent the Red Towel in a very strong manner.
But the big news don't stop there. Paige Briggs got her first start in the Pro Volleyball League and recorded a double-double with 14 kills and 19 digs.
Yeah, this is, but wait, there's more. Just like there's just more. And guess what? There's more coming up right after this. But yeah, Paige, she's had good showing. She got her first start, though, like you said, and to no surprise to any Hilltoppers, had a double-double, just a lot of kills as an outside hitter. And then obviously she's very good defensively as well, had 19 digs. So, that's what she does. And she's going to make her mark there and, probably be a full-time starter sooner than later, if I had to guess.
Katie Gardner was named Softball Pitcher of the Week with her performance this past week. The Bowling Green native earned 3 starts over the weekend in Clearwater, operating with a 1.4 ERA and only allowing 4 runs in 15 innings, while retiring 11 at the plate. Katie was also named the All-Tournament Team. Don McHenry was named Conference USA Player of the Week after our road wins over La Tech and Jack State University. Caitlin Staley was named Freshman of the Week for women's basketball.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. Just a lot of our athletes being named these Player of the Week honors. Katie Gardner for her pitching effort, even in the game that we lost to Missouri State 1-0, she threw a shutout. She pitched. I forget how many innings that was, but she didn't allow a run. So she may not have got the decision, but she didn't allow a run. And then obviously came back and had another good showing to earn her the Pitcher of the Week. Don McHenry doing Don McHenry things. I mean, point guard one is he's been that consistent hand all season, earned his second Player of the Week honors. Then Caitlin Staley, also, she's had a couple very good weeks. She had a couple good wins there, earned Freshman of the Week for women's basketball. So love to hear it.
Oh, there's even more. Softball coach Amy Tudor announced that a new video board was coming in the softball field soon. And to finish up the Red Tail Trust, Steve Smith declared Malachi Corley as the steal of the draft, quite a stamp from the Hall of Famer wide receiver for our Yak King.
Yeah, now the softball video board, I'm sure that was probably news we already knew. I just don't remember it before, but I saw Amy Tudor posted a picture of it, that it was coming soon. It looked like they were starting to take it apart, to get the new one ready. So that's awesome news. Anytime you're getting field upgrades, facility upgrades, you always want to share that and talk about that because that's good for the program. And then, the news yesterday, the clip that kind of went viral, just everybody sharing it. If you went to the comments, people are just like, hey, stop talking about this guy. We want him to be a secret and follow our team in the draft because Malachi is just getting a lot of love. And to get it from, quite frankly, there's a wide receiver comp there between, Steve Smith was a smaller but bulky wide receiver, very physical runner. There's a comp there. And to get that kind of a stamp of approval from Steve Smith, who himself is a Hall of Fame wide receiver and had a great NFL career, not much more you can say about that.
Well, that wraps up the Red Tail wrap up. Moff, back to you.
Yeah, a lot of good news there. It was a lot, but it was all basically good news. I love to have that conversation every week when we record. Jumping into the main segment of the episode, we're going to talk about what I call the road warrior tops as we finally got the monkey off our back and won some road games. First, we traveled to Ruston, Louisiana, and then we went to Jacksonville, Alabama last week, and we did something that no other team in Conference USA had done this season, which is completed a road trip sweep with an 81-76 victory over Louisiana Tech on Wednesday, and then over Jacksonville State 70-59 on Saturday. With the victories, WKU now moves to 17-7 on the season and 6-4 in Conference USA play. And now we sit back just a half a game behind Sam Houston and Louisiana Tech for first place in the conference. So Tyler, before we dive into the particulars and the details of the wins, how did this road trip and these big wins feel to you?
Well, I kind of felt like we was going to win down there at La Tech, and that game played out exactly how I thought it was going to. Both teams came out aggressive. We didn't win the turnover battle, but hey, that's going to happen. The one down there at Jack State, it kind of a tale of two halves. Our leading scorer, McHenry, didn't have the greatest first half, but came out just lights out in the second half. Against La Tech, I can't really be. I have nothing to complain about that game. I think in both of these road games, we really worked on the turnovers. I know in Jacksonville State, I think they had 6 blocks, or no, it was that was a La Tech game. I think they had 6 blocks in the first half. It was one and two, 6 blocks, and I was like, holy crap, they're having a freaking block party against us. But against Jacksonville State, we really held down we had turnovers in the first half. We only had 1 turnover in the second half, and that was because shot clock violation, because, we was already up, ain't no reason in poking and really just absolutely destroying them.
Yeah, first let's talk about the big victory over Louisiana Tech. It was our first win in Ruston since 1998, and it was Louisiana Tech's first home loss of the season. So both of those, they were number one in the conference. They still are, but just hadn't been beaten, hadn't lost at home this year. We hadn't beat them in Ruston in 26 years. So to break those streaks and just take down the best team in the conference on the road, which we had struggled mightily on the road, just says a lot about where this team is trending, and quite frankly, how this season could end. Getting into the conference tournament. Really on an upswing here. Don McHenry led the way. Like you said, he had 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Rodney Howard had another great game. We've talked about him several games in a row now. He's just stacking great game after great game after great game. He had 18 points and 6 rebounds. Then Tyrone Marshall and Brandon Newman both chipped in with 11 points and 4 rebounds themselves. On the Louisiana Tech side, one of our key to victories was contain Isaiah Crawford. Make his life hard, similar to Kiki Tandy at Jacksonville State. And we did just that. He finished with 13 points on 3 of 11 shooting. It was only 1 of 6 from 3. And then Daniel Bacho, their 6'11" center, he only finished with 6 points on the game. Again, a tough matchup for our bigs. But both of those guys fouled out. It was just a very physical game from the opening whistle. And unfortunately, their physicality kind of played against them as they picked up some fouls, and neither one of them got to finish this game. Tech shot just 41% from the floor and only 24% from 3. We out rebounded them 41-33, and we shot 23 out of 28 from the free throw line, 82%. While Louisiana Tech was only 17 out of 27, which is good for 63%. So, just a lot of winning stats in there. When you have multiple guys in double figures, you hold their 2 leading scorers to only 19 points combined. They were without their leading 3-point shooter. We talked about him in the preview for the game, Chavez, but I don't have no sympathy when you're losing, when you're without a guy, when we're without Jalen Jackson and Christian Lander both. So, next man up, you got to adapt and try to win the game. And unfortunately, they couldn't do that. We were able to take care of business on the road. So, Tyler, how did this big road upset victory feel to you before we jump into grades?
I mean, this felt amazing. I was at work, I was listening to it, and I was definitely yelling. I was there by myself, and I was having a heck of a time with this game. Randy Lee and Hal was on the call. I look back and we got 61 points of our 81 from inside the paint and also the free throw line. It was nice to see Isaiah Crawford foul out and Bacho. I mean, we finally came through. It came out, was aggressive. We dominated the paint. Bacho, he had 6 points. Rodney Howard had 18. Faye had 6. Tyrone Marshall had 11. I mean, all in all, we came out, we played. We said to win this game, we'd had to play perfect. I think we came out and played as close to a perfect game as we could. And I'm looking forward, as we're getting my dog barking, as we kind of wrap up the season. I hope they keep this momentum going straight into conference tournament time.
Yeah, let's jump into some grades for this really solid victory. So first, what's your grade for the offense versus Louisiana Tech?
I'm gonna give them an A+. We was leading at halftime, and of course at the end of the game we came out on top of that, outscored them in both halves. It was kind of it was a good team effort. We had 4 players in double-digit scoring. Rodney 18, Newman 11, McHenry 20, and Marshall 11. I mean, absolutely nothing to complain about on the offense. So A+.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, we scored 81 points against a team that is very good defensively. We talked about that. I think they were only giving up 64 points per game, if I recall correctly. So we scored 81 on them. We only turned the ball over 13 times, which, it is on the very much the low end of where we've been this season. We've been 15, 18, 20 multiple times this season. So to see that number come down, increase our offensive opportunities, that's a key to victory, and it's one that helped us win this ball game. What about your defensive victory versus or grade versus Louisiana Tech?
I'm gonna give them an A as well. I'm gonna throw that plus on there. They kept Isaiah Bacho down 6, Isaiah Crawford 13. Really, the only thing I would say probably would bring that down was they had a bench player. I think Jordan Crawford. He had 20. He dropped 25 on us. But I mean, if your leading scorers suffering, someone else has to pick up that slack. And Mangum, he had 23 on us. So, yeah, I'll go with an A on that.
Yeah, it's hard to be mad about holding their two leading scorers to just 19 points combined between them. We did what we need to do defensively. It was a tough matchup. It was a physical game. The whole game was very, very physical. There were definitely some questionable takedowns and flagrant fouls called there one time when Crawford took one of our players down. But yeah, I'm right there with you. Defense gets an A. What about the coaching grade?
The coaches, he really had this team's head on straight, and I think he came out with a great game plan, got the players really keyed in, and ready to play the conference leader at their place, which that's a really hard place to play, as we stated before in the preview episode. So I think the coaches get an A+ as well.
Yeah, the coaches had a good game plan. They knew it was going to be defensive battle and a physical game, and they knew that we had to contain Isaiah Crawford and Daniel Batcho. Like you said, Jordan Crawford had a good game. Mangum had a good game. But I think we can live with role players having good games if we're holding their leading scorers and the guys that they mainly lean on. If we were making them have rough games and ultimately not even finish the game, yeah, coaching gets an A+ for me. Took better care of the ball, so definitely a good showing overall for this team. What's this overall grade going to look like?
Oh, you already know it's going to be an A+. I mean, I feel like when you go down there, you give them their first home loss of the season. Conference leaders, I know they're probably walking in high cotton, piss on them, and overall it's going to be an A+.
Yeah, it's easily an A. I mean, this game all around was an A. There's nothing that to really be upset about or to really, just picking small things out that we could have done this better. We could have made 100% of our free throws. Sure, we could have had less than 13 turnovers. Yeah, there's small things that you can always get better on. But when you go on the road and you beat the best team in conference by win-loss record, especially when we've struggled on the road like we have, I mean, this was an overall A+ effort and an A+ victory that hopefully propels us to a strong close to the season now. Now let's look at the game versus Jacksonville State on Saturday. We went down to Jacksonville, Alabama, and we won 70-59. Don McHenry was again our leader. He had 24 points in the game. Rodney Howard had 8 points and 8 rebounds. He had a very tough and physical matchup with their big boy they had down low. Dante chipped in 7. Enoch, Baba, and Teagan all chipped in 6 points. So just kind of a spread out effort, there from the role players. For the second time in a row, when we faced Jacksonville State, we made life rough for Kiki Tandy. And that mainly this game, that was Brandon Newman checking him. Last time we played him, it was Christian Lander. This time it was Brandon Newman with Lander still being out. Kiki Tandy ended up with only 13 points on 4 out of 17 shooting. So less than 25% shooting. You'll take that from a leading scorer on the opposing team any night. And he only was 1 out of 7 on 3-point shots. So just never really got anything going. I think they mentioned on the telecast about him possibly being injured. Hey, again, no sympathy. You're playing, step up, overcome it. It's this time of year where everybody's beat up, banged up a little bit. So held him in check and helped us get that victory. For the game, Jacksonville State shot 38% from the field and was 1 out of 14 from 3. That'll win a lot of ball games. We out-rebounded them 42-40, and we only had 13 turnovers for the second consecutive game. So, Tyler, how did this victory feel before we jump into grades?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. In the first half, when we were down 28-29, McHenry hadn't turned it on yet. I could have been a little nervous. I'm not gonna say I wasn't, but I was kind of surprised by how the rest really let the guys play in this game. At the first half, we only had 9 combined fouls. WKU had 5. Jack State had 4. And this was a game we only had 12 turnovers. in the first 20 and 1 point in the second. We had 10 points in the paint in the first half. But it's always good to beat up on Ray Harper. Just kind of been. I liked him when he was here, but dude, it's always good to beat you. Tandy, this team only hit 1 3-pointer. They shot 7.1% from 3 points, and that's always a dang good win whenever you can hold their leading scorer to 13 points and really just kind of stop everything they want to do.
Yeah, just overall, just a great game, and I feel like these grades are going to reflect that mood and attitude for this. So, what is your grade for the offense versus Jacksonville State?
That's going to be another A plus. We were short of our season average in points, but we shot 6-17 from threes. We only had 13 turnovers, which is still. I wish number would come down into the single digits, but from where it was with 18, 19, 20, I do like the improvement, and so the offense is getting an A plus for me.
Yeah, A plus for me as well, without a question. I mean, going on the road and getting a victory in that manner, still scored plenty and held the other guys to not enough points to get the win, which obviously rolled right into this defensive grade. How do we feel about our defense versus Jacksonville State?
Great. We held just great. We held Tandy 13, Purdue to 10. Purdue was 0-4 from 3-point land. Like I said, they only hit one. That was Kiki's shot, and he shot 1 of 7. He hit 1 of 7 from 3-point land. They shot 14. They shot 22 free throws. They only hit 14. And I do like that our team is now focusing more on getting it into the paint and letting shots come open from inside out. And it's not just a point of contention to shoot as many threes as you can. But that's a rant for another time. I'm gonna give defense an A plus on this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. A plus for the defense. Like you pointed out, this game was it was officiated a little bit weird in my opinion. The first half, they let everything go. Like you said, there was only 8, 9 total fouls in the first half. And then it felt like the second half was the complete opposite. They were calling everything. There was a ton of free throws. Guys getting in foul trouble there towards the end. So it was a really weird kind of tale of two halves with the refs. But ultimately it played into our favor. We were able to pull away and get the win. So defense definitely gets an A for me, even if we did start defending with some fouls there in the second half. What about the coaching grade versus Jacksonville State?
Coaches went in, we went in down 1 at halftime. We had 12 turnovers, shooting 28% from 3-point land. So the coaches definitely made the adjustments they needed to do and got them playing right. I don't know if he's like in Space Jams in the original, not the remake. That one's crap. In the original, whenever Michael Jordan's in there and gives like them all that water bottle with the secret stuff or whatever, I don't know if he's in there doing that at halftime, but whatever it is, get Don McHenry to come out, just playing lights out second half, keep going, keep doing it. Coach is getting an A plus.
Yeah, coach is definitely getting an A. I mean, he outcoached Ray Harper, and like him, love him, hate him. Ray was a pretty good coach when he was here. Not a great recruiter, didn't win enough games, obviously, but Ray, you kind of know what he brings to the table. He brings a physical style of play, and their team mirrors that. And Lutz was able to combat that, and just open up our offense, pound it down low quite a bit, kicked it out to the shooters when it was open, and just able to win this game. And doing that on the road, I'm going to take it 10 times out of 10. So coaching definitely gets an A. What about the overall grade versus Jacksonville State?
I'm just going to keep it the same way. I'm going to keep it 100 with the La Tech game. It's going to be an A plus on me. This team played great. It just took them a little bit to maybe get their feet underneath them. Maybe they had, still a little hangover from what they did at La Tech in that game before. But overall, they're getting an A plus in my book.
Yeah, A plus for me as well in this game. A plus for the road trip. That's why the title of this episode is WKU Basketball Road Warriors. Nice to finally get that off our back, get back to our winning ways, even on the road. Winning at home has been fairly easy for us this year. We only have one loss at home, but finally got off the snide. First team in Conference USA, like I said, to complete a road sweep in 2 games in a week. So definitely trending the right way. Now we get to preview our upcoming games this week against in a homestand versus UTEP on Thursday and New Mexico State on Saturday. We play UTEP this Thursday rather at 6 p.m. The game is going to be on CBS Sports Network. Now these two teams previously met this season on January 20th with UTEP winning 93 to 87. So this is a little bit of a revenge game opportunity for WKU. UTEP currently sits at 13-11 on the season. They're 4-5 in Conference USA play, but the ESPN Power Index really favors WKU to win with a 78.2% chance. New Mexico State has yet to win a road game this season, while WKU has only lost one home game this season, while also recently figuring out our road struggles. So, Tyler, how does this revenge game feel to you before we jump into the key indicators of this game?
Well, it feels like a WKU victory to me. I like our chances winning at home. I'm glad the ESPN Power Index finally put some respect on our name. I know I on the road games, it's always favoring the home team, but I feel like this game, we had 21 fouls and 19 turnovers versus UTEP, and the UTEP shot 24 of 29 from the free throw line. Obviously, they were the more aggressive team. They had 31 fast break points. Also, we just shot 5 of 12 from the free throw line. Really, that's where the game was lost. They were more aggressive. We were kind of sluggish on defense. But I feel like this is a different team than what they saw over down there at UTEP whenever we played them. So I'm looking for WKU to have a good game against UTEP, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, this is going to be a different team. I think we're definitely focusing on getting the ball in the paint a little bit more, and that's really opening up the 3-point opportunities. So, yeah, like you said, this is going to be a different game, especially at home in Ditto Arena. Now, UTEP is led in scoring by number 2, Tay Hardy. He is averaging 15.2 points per game. Their leading rebounder is Kevin Kalu, who is averaging 5 rebounds per game. And their leading passer is number 0, Zid Powell, who is averaging 3 assists per game. Now, UTEP is basically worse than us in nearly every team statistical category. The only one that they're better than us or have a better number than us is steals force per game. They average 11.8 steals per game. I think we're around 7.4, 7.5, if I recall correctly. UTEP averages 73.5 points per game while giving up 68.4, while we're still averaging 80.3 points per game and giving up 74.2. They shoot 2% lower than us. I think they're around 44, 43%. We're up around 46, and they average 7 less rebounds per game. So again, those are always key to victories for us, is out rebounding the opponent, and we're averaging 7 more a game than them. So that should bode in our favor. Tyler, let's jump into some keys to victory for this rematch and revenge game against them. So what's your first key to victory?
All right, so my first one is going to be guard without committing fouls. That's what really got us in the first game against them. So it'd be really nice if we kind of stepped it up and changed that and was able to actually shut them down and make sure Tay Hardy does not have a season high scoring game against us like he did at their place.
Yeah, I think we have to continue to take care of the ball. We had 13 turnovers in both of our road victories. They average 11 plus steals per game, so they're aggressive. They have good on-ball defenders. They apply good pressure. So I think if we take care of the ball, we're going to maximize our chances to win. So I would say take care of the ball. Keep those turnovers around that 13 to 14, 15 mark where we've been the last few games. What's your second key to victory?
That's going to be win the rebounding battle. I think we definitely won both of them in our last 2 games. And it'd be really nice to continue that trend of maybe getting the second chance points, or at least keeping UTEP from getting them second chance points.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The rebounding battle is going to be very important. We can't let missed shots become second opportunities. So definitely, on our defensive glass, keeping them off the offensive board. And I really like our opportunities there. Their leading rebounders averaging 5 rebounds per game. Brandon Newman's over 6. Baba and Rodney are always high up there. So feel really good about that stat being in our favor in a big way. So definitely we need to out rebound them, just continue that trend. We're the best rebounding team in Conference USA, one of the best rebounding teams in the nation. So we just need that trend to continue. What's your third key to victory?
I'm going to echo what you said earlier, limit turnovers. Yeah, you're right. I mean, whenever we were committing 18, 19, 20 turnovers a game, that's not conducive to winning basketball. That's not going to win you any games, or hardly any. We definitely got to take care of the ball and make sure that we're not giving them any extra chances to score on us.
Yeah, I think we need to continue to highlight our big guys. Let those guys shine. I know Rodney didn't have a great game his last game out. He had a really tough matchup with the big guy. I can't remember his name, McCormick maybe for Jacksonville State, McConnell maybe. But he was a big boy. He was a big body. Rodney still had 8 points and 8 rebounds. Had a good effort, a good showing. But we've seen him scoring double digits and high double digits several games in a row. I think between him and Baba, we need those two guys to continue to have high output, have a lot of rebounds, score a lot of points. Because I think as we go down the stretch here, there are some mismatches for teams. They're big guys. Baba has really good post moves. Rodney's really gotten a lot more efficient in that area where he's scoring close to the basket. So let those guys eat. They're having a lot of success, and it's turned into victories for us. So give those guys the ball and let them eat. Who's going to be your MVP for this game?
You just talked about him. I'm going to go Rodney Howard. He's actually the second leading scorer on the team now, putting in 10.3 points per game while grabbing 5.3 rebounds. Think that that's all because of here recently he's really been more aggressive on the offensive side of playing in the post. He really likes that hook shot and sometimes the fader hook. And I really just want him to have a great game and to see him dominate the paint there at home.
Like we said on Instagram yesterday, fuck F it, Teagan down there somewhere. I love that clip they showed of him getting a steal and throwing it down to Teagan. So I like that MVP. I'm going to go with kind of the head of the Snakes. Point guard one, Don McHenry. Mr. 20-point scorer. And I think he's top 3 in the conference in scoring. He's got to be kind of threatening for that number 2, number 1 spot with the last few games that he's just been putting up monster numbers, especially when you hold Kiki to 13 and he was leading the conference in scoring. So, player of the week, would like to see him have another strong week, lead us to a couple home victories, keep us right there in contention for first place. We just need Sam Houston or Louisiana Tech to slip up and possibly get first place heading into the conference tournament. So give me Don McHenry, the player of the week, Mr. Do-It-All, can score at all 3 levels, can turn it on and score, 10, 15, 20 points in just in no time, especially coming out of halftime like we've seen several games now. What is your score prediction?
I'm going to go with 83-75 Tops win. That's a good win. We score over our average. We allow just slightly over our average in the opponent's scoring. So yeah, 83-75.
I'm going 82-72. Nice double-digit victory at home. Again, kind of right there with you. Our scoring average is around 80. They score around 74. I think we're going to hold them a little bit less than that and get another big victory, especially at home. We got to win them at home coming down the stretch. Now let's look forward to our game versus New Mexico State. We host them on 2 p.m. on Saturday, February 17th. The game will be on ESPN Plus. New Mexico State is currently 11-13 on the season. They're 5-4 in conference, and they also have yet to win a road game this season. But this is another revenge game opportunity, as we previously played them on January 18th with New Mexico State winning 72-70. But the ESPN Power Index really likes us. It gives us an 86.8% chance of winning. Gotta love being at home. Tyler, what's your thoughts on this second revenge opportunity this week? How's it feel to you?
The only thing that kind of bothers me is Rawls, coming back to his familiar stomping grounds. He still remembers where his favorite shots came from, and I'm sure the players who played with him last season do too. So other than that, this game, whenever we played down to New Mexico State, I mean, I feel like everything that could have went wrong did go wrong for us. So I feel like this is going to be another. My score prediction tells me this is probably going to be another easy victory. I'm not really worried about them. I mean, they're not scoring as much. That we're definitely outscoring them a lot, and if they're giving up 71 points per game, this should be a no brainer. We just got shut down. Femi or Femi. I think this is a team with Yak Yak on it, ain't it? I was listening to Hal whenever he was talking about calling the first game, and he was like, "My favorite name, Yak Yak." But no, I feel like this is going to be a fun game to watch. But I feel like we should have a easy time beating them.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, in our first matchup, this was the game where Don only had 1 point and just had a real bad, his worst night of the season. And everybody's going to have one occasionally. But he just had an uncharacteristic game, couldn't make a shot, couldn't buy a shot, only made one free throw in the game. So that's not going to happen very often. And it ain't going to happen in Dental Arena. I can guarantee that. Now, New Mexico State is led in scoring by number 11, Femi Aduke. He is averaging 10.7 points per game. He's also their leading rebounder with 6 rebounds per game. And their leading passer is that familiar face that you mentioned, number 2, Jordan Rawls, who's averaging 3.8 assists per game. Like you said, he's coming back to a familiar place. He was here, left and went to Georgia State, came back, and now his left and obviously is at New Mexico State. So the boomerang is coming back to Dental Arena. I think he only had 2 points in our first matchup this year. So I'm sure he's going to be looking to have a better game back in Dental Arena against his old, 2-time ex, Western Kentucky. So I'm going to kind of be the same as you. I'm going to kind of be watching out for him to try to step up and have a big game. But he is their leading assist man. As a team, New Mexico State is averaging 68.9 points per game while giving up 71.6. They shoot 4% worse than us at 42.3% while we're over 46. And they average 6 less rebounds per game with only 34.4 while we're above 40 per game. So, Tyler, let's jump into some keys to victory against New Mexico State. What's your first?
Don't force the 3-point shot, because when we played them first time, we shot 7 of 23. The last few games, I think we've only attempted like maybe 13, 14 3-point shots. So definitely don't force them. Kind of what we talked about earlier, play from the inside out. You dominate that paint, they're going to start packing it, double teaming. Then that leaves the shooter or the wing players open for a much easier shot.
I'm just going to clip mine from the UTEP game. Take care of the ball. That is probably going to be key to victory number 1 pretty much every game for me, because anytime we're 18, 19, 20 plus, 25% of our possessions are turnovers. It's either resulted in a loss or just a really close, barely victory. We've seen now the last few games where we've had a game with only 9 turnovers, now back-to-back games with 13. We're able to pull away and win pretty comfortably. So when we take care of the ball and give ourselves a chance offensively, where we've been pretty efficient with the ball, we can score when we don't turn it over. So I think take care of the ball, keep turnovers under 15. I would love it. If it's above 15, I don't like our chances of winning so much. Keep it below 15. I think we'll take care of business. What's your second key to victory?
Kind of piggybacking off you, play under control but push tempo. I'm sure we're still, if we're not number 1, we're number 2. I know he was number 1 in tempo, in pace of tempo or pace of play. So we just need to keep that up and use that to our advantage, but don't create turnovers and throw it away, kind of like what you said.
Yeah, I think we've got to continue to feed Rodney and Baba. I know I said that for the other game, but I think, like you highlighted, it really opens up the opportunities for shooters. You highlighted that we've been playing within the flow of the game, not jacking up 20 plus threes. I think when we're shooting 10 to 15, 16, 17 threes in a game, I think that's a lot better number than when we're jacking up 20 to 30 or more in our total possessions. I think sometimes we start making them, our eyes get big and the hoop gets big. But I think playing within our flow of the offense, Lutz wants to see us take good, smart shots in the flow, not force things. No heat checks. Even if we make 2 or 3 in a row, still take smart shots. So definitely keep packing it down low. Let those big guys, get those easy buckets. And then if they do collapse 2, 3 defenders on you, then kick it out. Let Dante or Don or Brandon or whomever, let them get that open three. What's your third key to victory?
Keep the bench guys in check. This last game, there are 3 bench players out of the 5. 3 of them had 10 plus points. Harris had 18. Petway had 9, and O'Ducale had 11. So definitely need to keep them in check. Don't let them come in. And like I have said in episodes before, don't let them have an all-star night on us just because they're coming off the bench. So definitely got to keep them in check.
I think my third key to victory is just going to be let Don be Don. I think anytime we see him being the aggressive, the guy probing the defense, getting down low, scoring close to the basket, mid range, stepping out, hitting his three. We've seen one game where he had a bad game. We barely lost that one, 72-70 versus this team. So I think as long as Don is being aggressive and playing his basketball within the flow of the offense, I think that greatly improves our chances of winning. Especially when we still don't know if we're going to have Christian Lander back. It's a piece that we have to step up and replace. We don't know his status as of this moment. It hasn't been mentioned. So I'm just going to assume he's not playing until I hear he is playing. So let Don be Don, and I'll let that lead us right into our MVP. Who's going to be yours?
Mine's going to be Tyrone Wu Marshall. I feel like he's going to have a big game, another highlight type game in front of the home crowd. I think this is senior night, right? It's not. I thought it was. I thought they. All right. Anyway, so he's gonna have a highlight type game in front of the Diddle faithful and the home crowd.
No, we still have Louisiana Tech comes home next week, so we still have one. We have 3 more home games left. These 2 plus 1. But yeah, my MVP is going to be Don McHenry. Wash, lather, rinse, repeat. It's Don. He's the guy. I expect him to put up some player of the week type numbers again back at home. I hope everybody, Rodney, Baba, Tegan, Dante, Brandon, I hope everybody has great games. But I think Don is always going to be kind of the leader of that pack and able to put the team on his back like we've seen several times now, especially that second half. He just opens up, comes out, the secret juice, like you said, he comes out and just can't be stopped, can't miss. So give me Don McHenry. He's the guy for me. Now, what's your score prediction?
It's going to be 81 to 68. I feel like Rawls is going to be another non-factor. Henry's not going to have the same type of game he had there at whenever they played at New Mexico State and just only score 1 point. And I feel like we're going to get to the free throw line, be the aggressors a lot more than New Mexico State is. And we're definitely going to guard without committing fouls or defend without getting fouls. So that's going to take them off of that. So yeah, kind of a big win for us in the revenge game, 81 to 68.
I'm really close to yours. I'm at 80 to 69. We don't compare notes when we're doing these shows. So mine 80 to 69, a nice victory, a nice 11-point victory. I think the Tops take care of business, continue that positive momentum from their recent road swing. Got to win these home games now to make those games not mean nothing. And obviously the revenge factor for me, we lost to both these teams on the road. I think that's going to play a big part into how we come out and the energy we bring. And I just think we're playing better basketball altogether, home or away. We're being a lot more efficient. We're taking care of the ball. We're not fouling as much. And we're highlighting the big guys a lot more. I think all this stuff is going to lead to a really strong home stand for us and the end of the season, the last few weeks now, leading into conference tournament. So I'm really excited for where this team can go. I think we've all seen I guess where this team could have been. We've seen glimpses of really strong play offensively and defensively. Now it kind of feels like it's all starting to come together as we come down the wire. And this, middle end of February, this is when you want to be playing your best basketball heading into March. And I kind of feel like we're doing that. I want to see us continue to take another step forward in just how we're playing. the efficiency, the communication, defense, just everything. I think this team is really coming together and has every bit of potential to win out the rest of the games this season. Even though we have a couple tough road games, but I think we can definitely win every game we have left on the schedule and go into the conference tournament, just really riding a high note, and being maybe the favorite, to win that tournament and go to the big dance, which has obviously been a while since we've done. So I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Obviously, we talked about the Red Towel wrap up, all the other spring sports that are going, track, tennis, softball, baseball starts this week. There's just a lot of stuff going on around the hill. Those Red Towel wrap ups aren't going to get any shorter anytime soon, but most of the time we're talking about good things, a lot of player of the weeks, a lot of good performances, a lot of wins. So I'm here for it. That's why we're here. We're going to talk about every sport, home and away, highlight every hilltopper, every athlete, every sport. So I'm ready for it, man. Spring's here. Spring football will be here really soon. Coming up on our year anniversary in April. So it's a good day to be a topper. Tyler, give us your final words and take us out of here.
It's always a good day to be a topper, Bull. I want to start off by saying I hope Christian Lander is doing okay, and I look forward to seeing him come back and play on the floor. But while he's been gone, I mean, Tegan Moore has really showed up and showed out, and that's something that's very positive. I tweet they did something for him on Twitter, and I was like, he's going to be a WKU legend. And I feel like he is. I mean, he's built like Justin Johnson. He plays hard, blue collar kind of player. And he's definitely sacrificing his body, dive on the floor, get the loose balls, and 50-50. And that's something that I appreciate. And as a fan, that's something that really gets me going. So, keep it up, Tegan. I hope everybody comes out and supports the basketball team these 2 home games this week. Because the team definitely needs it. They really showed up, so it's time for us to show out as fans. I mean, I can't overstate this. Whenever Diddle's rocking, I mean it's a special place to be. It's an awesome place. I'm sure everyone who's listened to this knows that. So let's kind of get that going for the last 3 home games of the season. And man, it's going to be a great day, great week. And Moff, with that, I will say, who has it better than us?
Nobody, buddy. You always know it.
You know it.
Go Tops.
Go Tops, y'all. See you.
Later, guys.